How's it going there, everyone? It's Mr. Zen over here bringing you guys another anime discussion for today, guys. And for today's segment, guys, we're going to be talking about Servamp episode 11, guys. Just one more episode until the season is over, guys. And I have to say, Servamp is actually going wonderfully in my honest opinion. And the reason is that because, there is still more story arcs that could still be uncovered on the next following episodes, guys. And now Servamp, on the other hand, I would say this particular episode, episode 11, though, a lot has happened in this episode. A lot of events were unfolding, and I'm clearly thinking, the villains themselves have a lot to offer, guys. And I'm here thinking, I'm hoping they don't bombard it all into one episode and finish everything off, man. I am hoping they don't do that, because for a fact, the villains are very interesting in this series, guys. Like I said, what makes a series great, guys, in my opinion, is that if the villain has a wonderful backstory, has wonderful goals, has ideals, it makes then the hero triumphant better. Like I said, it's a win-win situation. A story isn't as good as just the villain without the hero, And like I said, the villains in Servamp are actually pretty good, in my honest opinion. On top of that, of course, they're pretty much vampires. But, like, the overall aspect, you're clearly looking at that. How are these vampires going to be extinguished? Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of the vampires actually did die in this particular episode. But the main ones that a lot of the viewers want to see, Tsubaki, Higan. I know Higan's not dead. I know that for sure. He can't be dead. Higan can't be dead. But if he is, R.I.P. man. R.I.P. But like I said, no, I'm not going to digress too much. But like I said, this anime episode, like I said, it was very well thought out, very well paced out. We see a lot of character events, even from Mahiru himself, guys. And actually Lawless and freaking Licht himself, guys. And then even from there, the transition from rescuing Licht and Lawless changes into a new perspective. Mahiru and all of them, of course, they actually rescue Licht and Lawless, but they don't really rescue him. It's more along the line as to say that they actually came and gave them a hand. That's what it felt like the episode to me, that Mahiru's group is actually they basically came to help out Licht. They didn't really came to rescue. It really was not a rescue arc for them. But like it was just like a little hilarious in the scene that a lot of viewers kind of see. This episode really does imply that Licht and Lawless, their relationship is really powerful, and that they're able to overcome almost anything, to be honest. It was almost like a shonen trope right there, that, with the power of feelings, we can actually overcome anything. And, I'm here thinking, like, that was freaking hilarious in this episode. But there was a lot of more underlying tones involved with Licht and Lawless, these two characters in this episode, when you're looking at these two characters, you're at first glance, you're looking at it as a comical duo. They're just mad-libbing at each other, just talking smack, but at the same time, when you're looking at the overall tone, no, these characters, that's how they interact. They're conversing because of the fact that they're actually looking at the enemy as a weakling, that they're saying that, that's a trivial matter, where the more matter of fact that we should be focused on is the fact that you should put your eyes on Licht and freaking Lawless's conversation. That's what's really more important than the fight itself. That's the way that I was interpreting the scene. That that's how powerful these guys are. That they actually look at everyone else as weaklings and peasants, and you're wondering, like, what the heck, man? This episode is just for laughs and just as exciting as from the first time you guys meet Lawless. But this episode also was a major improvement for Lawless because of the fact that he actually gets very much character progression in this episode, guys. And that's what I love about a lot of these heroes, or I want to say heroes in this particular series, but these characters, they actually get a lot of progression involved in it. And especially, like I said, Lawless gets a lot. Like, he gets a tremendous amount because of the fact that, he actually starts accepting for who he is. He is the sin of greed, but, he has to also change himself. He has to accept himself for what his past has done, but he has to change more for the fact that he has to live now in the present with Licht. Now, Licht is now his savior, and now he has to actually help him achieve his own ideal goals now, not only for his own selfish goals, because the fact that, greed throughout the majority of the time has just been out just made mostly for himself, and has seen Licht as, I would say, like a random note. But now he actually is now gonna help out Licht become his overall dream of becoming the best pianist. Like I said, you know, like the way that they kind of interacted with each other in the episode, you know, you're just kind of clearly wondering that, you know, these two characters are very powerful in their own terms of willpower, emotion. You know, you're just kind of like wondering, like, you know, you're gonna give a little round of applause for these two characters, you know. And Licht himself, guys, this guy's very multifunctional in terms of in battling styles. I have never seen someone have so many freaking capabilities in this series, though. I'm talking about this series, not in all anime, but in this series, he's the most multifunctional that I've seen so far that has so many abilities. The way that I'm talking about is because there's one ability that he, like, it was pretty intense of how he uses the blood of Higan, and he actually like draws a keyboard on his face, and he hits it on his, like, I would say he plays it on Higan's cheek, and it actually renders him, like, for a couple seconds not be able to move. And I'm like wondering, okay, that's pretty interesting, you know. That's actually pretty interesting, Licht. I see you have a very wide array of an attacks that, you know, at his disposal, that, you know, it makes Licht a very much, I would say, a dangerous opponent to face in terms of battle. And, you know, like I said, and Licht is also a very strong emotional person, that his persona as seen is almost like he has a god complexity, you know, like he just sees himself as an angel, you know. That's just how strong his character is, that it's too overbearing on regular, I would say, on socializing with him, you know. It's like it's too outgoing, too overbearing, too condescending, you know. Like that's the way I see Licht, as if he was having a normal conversation with actual people. But, you know, like I said, that personality actually saved his life in this terms of battle, you know. But like I said, the episode was very intense, and we also get to see mahiru actually grow some character progression in this episode, guys. Mahiru actually comes in now with his powers, with freaking Kudo himself, and now Lawless actually, for the one, says that, okay, we're now actually witnessing Kudo at his best. And basically, you know, the little sleepy Ash's little, I would say, a little tiny miniature cat form was actually, that was all false. His actual form was a giant lion, and viewers are gonna be like, what the frickin' F, you know? I can't believe that freaking Kudo is that strong. Like, I can see why also too, that they're kind of using the trope of the sin of sloth, basically like a lion, you know. It's always sleeping, but it's a very powerful beast because of the fact that it's the king of the jungle, you know. Like, that's the way I feel like the author was trying to apply with Sleepy Ash, you know. It's a very majestic beast, and Kudo is, like I said, very strong. And it kind of goes back to like the beginning episode when he kind of sliced the vampires. He has like giant claws, so it kind of implied that, you know, he's basically like a giant lion. And that was pretty intense, like I said. Very interesting, and love the way that Mahiru handled the situation, that even Mahiru got character progression. I wouldn't say character progression, but I would say more weapons involved. Like instead of being a broom, it became a spear, but it looked like a wand. So I'm probably thinking like it's like both maybe. It could kind of look like a mage sort of. But I'm assuming that spear or whatever weapon that he has now is meant to decapitate people. I mean, yikes. It was pretty gruesome. Even in the episode, they kind of showed and explained that how he actually took care of Tsubaki's subclasses with that actual weapon. Pretty intense, guys. Pretty fucking intense. But like I said, guys, this episode was very well thought out, like I said. And we also see Misano's and Mikoni's interaction involved in the episode itself, guys. You guys are going to be wondering as to what's going on with these two characters. There's an underlying tone with these two characters. There's something going on with I would say with Misano and Mikuni's family, because of the fact that, you know, there's something going along. Like, they don't want to explain. I don't know what it is. But All of Love was just like, I don't know. He was kind of implying something, like something with his dialogue, you know. It's just weird though. And Sakuya's character, it still stayed the same in the episode, but he's still a dangerous foe because, you know, I feel like this episode, it was almost as All of Love was actually gonna really die, because they actually were attacking, I would say, the contract bind, that like this item that forms the contract with the vampires themselves, was about to get destroyed from All of Love's by Sakuya's. You know, like I said, Sakuya, he has no remorse when it's another vampire, but when it comes to Kuro and them, no, he's kind of having he has second thoughts. So it kind of shows that Sakuya is still showing his little, I would say, his darker side and tones involved in the episode. So there wasn't too much involved with Sakuya in this episode because of the fact that the episode itself involved more with Licht and Lawless involved. And by the way, Lawless, my god, man. I love the way he always uses the Shakespearean, I would say, quotes involved in every time he's always fighting. It's pretty intense, you know. Like it's kind of like a learning. Also, it's a way of learning, guys. Now we're learning more about Shakespeare every time these guys are fighting, and you know. The anime actually also gave the impression also with Licht and Lawless that they have a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde complex because Lawless's actual contract name is actually Hyde. So Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Like I said, these two, like I said, they're very conflicting with each other. Like I said, it's very, very interesting. I'm loving the way the author is actually writing the story, guys. You know, but like I said, you know, in the early part of this video, you know, we're actually getting more revelations and a new upcoming story arc, and that is with Tetsu and Huey. You know, Huey actually got captured by Tsubaki's subclasses. So now that Licht and Lawless are actually together with Mahiro's group, now it's actually time to rescue Huey. Because of the fact that, you know, Tetsu's young. Tetsu doesn't know what to do. He's actually just following orders. He's a working man. That's what he's basically. He's a working robot. He's basically the ideal concept of stupidly strong strength. That's what basically it is. He's just the epitome of strength, but no brain power whatsoever. Because he was telling Misano, what should I do? What should I do in the episode? So it clearly goes to show, it shows his ignorance and I would say unable to be showing his leadership skills. You know, I mean, he's a child. You know, he can't really do anything about it. You know, he's like a working man. That's all he's done in his life. I mean, come on. But like I said, like I'm kind of interested to see what's going on with Hugh in the later episodes, guys, or at least in the second season if they're gonna be rescued, or in the next episode itself. I'm hoping that we're gonna be actually able to see him get rescued. But like I said, though, the episode kind of did end off with Tsubaki actually talking to Lilac, and Lilac, by the way, is the person that Mahiro's group has I would say compensating for, I would say like a trade-off to get back Lawless from Tsubaki, because Lilac is actually, I believe is a subclass for Tsubaki, and you know, basically Lilac actually stole Lawless's contract item, which is basically the Hyde pendant that Licht did for freaking Lawless, and it's hilarious because Lawless is so powerful, yet he could have not seen that coming. I'm just like, wow, that scene was just like it was a little far-fetched, but then I remember, okay, these guys, they actually fought some powerful villains, so I can't argue right there in itself. But, you know, that's where the episode kind of ends off right there, and then Katsubaki's basically at the face of all the freaking Mahiro's group, and that's it right there. The episode kind of ends off right there, guys. And like I said, you know, this episode was very entertaining, you know. Licht and Lawless's episodes are always very entertaining. You can't skip a beat with these characters, you know. It's always going to be something interesting to watch. It's like a visual experience. You know, you're going to be wondering as to why has this Servamp, you know, like I'm hoping this just doesn't finish, you know. I'm hoping there's a second season off this. That's just it, you know. That's really what my mind's been telling me the whole time. There's better be a second season for this because of the fact that, you know, we want to know more about these vampires. But I'm hoping if it is the last episode for the entire series, you know, I'm hoping they at least do a little bit of justice for this anime. Because, you know, this anime is actually pretty interesting, guys. But like I said, you know, this is it for my rant on the Servamp episode of episode 11. Like I said, it was very interesting. You know, I'm hoping you guys were entertained as much as I was in this episode, guys. But let me know down in the comments below what you guys' thoughts on this episode. What you guys thought of Lawless after this episode. Because, you know, like I said, this episode was very much all about Lawless himself. And as always, guys, if you guys don't forget to give a like, comment, share, and subscribe if you guys enjoy my content. And as always, guys, have a wonderful day. But it's Mr. Zen, signing out.